Oh, perfect. Perfect. Being maxed on here was my only personality trait, and now, after 8 years of having a max cape, I can't put it back on. But what am I gonna do on here now? That was the only thing I had going for me. Hey, what's up, guys? It's your no longer maxed Ultimate Iron Man here. Wanted to make a quick video talking about the Gielinor Games. It's back. Season 5, Episode 1 is officially out. It's always a super cozy time of year when GG comes out. It's always so much fun to watch and usually be a part of. So this brings me to my main point. When I was in Soup's stream watching the first episode, typing some things in the chat, I was getting asked nonstop why I'm not in the season. If something happened to me, did I get hit by a meteor? Why am I not in GG5? Which, first of all, if I do ever get hit by a meteor, I will tell you guys immediately. You will all be my emergency contact. But let's talk about what actually happened. This is the first time in 4 years where I'm not on Gielinor Games. I've been a part of every season except the very first one. And of course, I'm also not back to defend my championship title from last year. Some of you guys know that after my win in Season 4, I was already considering sitting out for the next season. I mentioned it in my review of the finale last year. I've been thinking about it a lot. I am tempted to go out on this absolutely near perfect run and retire from GG. Free up a spot for someone else on Season 5. My run in the previous season was basically as close to perfect as humanly possible. Out of 12 episodes, I was either the challenge winner or the banning winner in 11 out of 12. I had 1 week where I was able to float, and then I went on to win the final by a single point. I mean, that is such a beautiful fairy tale storyline that I could try 1,000 times and I wouldn't be able to repeat it. So after it all ended, I kind of just wanted that to be my legacy on the show. It's really not a bad place to go out. However, I was watching Season 5, Episode 1 the other day, of course, as you do. Gilligesser pops up, favorite challenge of all time. And I started feeling some pretty bad FOMO of not being on already. It's just, I do love the thrill of the competition, thinking on your feet, and obviously just interacting with all of the content creators in the community is so fun. Outside of GG, I don't really talk to that many people in the community other than like my very close friends. So it is really fun to be in calls all the time and just compete. I miss it. I do miss it. But I'm going to talk about some behind the scenes stuff, the little cameo I made, and how I had a small hand in balancing the episode 1 banning. And then we'll get into what I've been up to, all the reasons why I didn't play this season, and a little update for you guys. But just to dispel any ridiculous rumors out there, no, Soup did not boot me off the show. Okay, the only thing getting booted is .dev. Boot.dev. Today's video is sponsored by Boot.dev, the smartest way to master backend development in Python and Go programming languages. See, the folks over at Boot.dev believe the smartest way to learn coding is to gamify the experience, which is why they develop tactics learned from modern game design to push ambitious students toward their goal of a career in backend development through hands-on lessons that balance theory with practice. The platform is designed to get you writing a ton of code through these techniques to get you to ship projects and prepare you to tackle technical interviews and forge a successful programming career. With Boot.dev, you'll earn XP, levels, achievements, complete quests to try and earn a top spot on the global leaderboard. Boot.dev actually offers tons of free content that can be read and watched in guest mode. The paid membership actually unlocks the interactivity and the game that comes along with it. Boot.dev also has a 30-day no questions asked refund policy with their membership and a free demo of every course, along with its interactive features, so there's no risk in giving it a shot. Click the link in the description and use my code unsettled to get 25% off your first payment for Boot.dev. That's 25% off your first payment or your first year, depending on which subscription you choose. Thanks to Boot.dev for sponsoring this video. So, fun fact, I was actually pretty close to participating in GG Season 5. Soup obviously did invite me back. There was just a couple reasons why I had to decline the offer this time around. I just kept going back and forth, and after about 2 weeks, I had to lock in my answer, and I just ended up saying no. One of those reasons was the timing. When the cast was getting locked in, it was mid to late March, and I was in the middle of doing the Nightmare Mode Coliseum. That was the most stressful thing I've ever done on the game, and I still had to edit the video afterward. I feel like I wasn't really in the right headspace to take on GG5, and had it been like a month after, maybe I would have said yes. Back then, I told myself a lot that if I do play in Season 5, I would take it easy and goof around, cause chaos, just be a completely unpredictable force and not really go for a win. The thing is, who knows how that theory actually would have played out. I think I would have gotten ultra competitive again. I'm a very competitive person. I think one episode in, I'd be trying to go for a back-to-back win again, and it's just been a super busy year in general for me. I had to move states. I'm in a new crib, as they call it. It's been a bit of an adjustment period. It's been a busy year. It took me a couple weeks to give Soup my definite answer because I just kept going back and forth. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. And honestly, seeing the format, I don't think I would have let myself take it easy just because I would have been on a team and I wouldn't want to let my team down, especially if the teams are being balanced in a certain way. I wouldn't want to not perform for their sake and stuff. So I think the format would have probably prevented me from like quote unquote taking it easy. I probably would have tried to go for another win and maybe I would have been disappointed. Who knows? Ultimately though, with Nightmare Mode ending at the time and then potentially planning out a new series after, which didn't pan out, but at the time I was thinking of immediately going into a new series. I just didn't feel like I had the time for a brand new season and trying to go super hard again. And this kind of goes hand in hand with what I was saying earlier, but the stress of Nightmare Mode took such a toll on my anxiety and general well-being that jumping into the stress of a competition immediately after would be a terrible decision just for my health. Like, GG is super fun, but at the end of the day, it's also a fierce competition that you try your hardest to win, and I think I would have tried my hardest to win. I don't think I'm capable of taking it easy, so it was just a logical choice at the end of the day to try to prioritize myself, and I just kind of thought I need a year off. Like, I need to cool off. I'm trying to do something way more chill, and that's what I ended up doing. I do want to talk about some of the twists in Season 5 that were revealed in that first episode that would have made it very hard for me to get a back-to-back win. I think the target I'd have on my back after the run I had in Season 4, it would have made it basically impossible to win back-to-back. I think a lot of people just don't want anyone to ever win back-to-back. I mean, every single previous winner has always been put into a banning on the first episode of the new season. Verf was put into the first banning of Season 3. V the Victim was put into the first banning of Season 4. I think the easiest thing to do on that first episode when there's 20 other content creators there and you just don't know who to vote for and you don't really want to say your reason for voting that person, it's so easy to just be like, let's vote this guy because he won last time. We don't want another back-to-back winner. I mean, I did exactly that in Season 4. We voted V the Victim in the first episode because it's so easy to give that reason and just be like, well, no one wants that guy to win again. We might as well vote him out, and then, there's one less player and we can go from there. But then again, we have the attack and defense system. We have the hopper. I mean, these things are such massive twists. I think it's such a great way to bring back the social aspect of the game that was a little lighter in Season 4. One thing that probably could have gotten me through those first couple episodes is my team putting defend votes on me, maybe, if I could have convinced them. There's definitely options I could have taken. I like how balanced the format is this season, which makes me super excited to watch. The hopper system is like the coolest thing for TV purposes. I think it's such a neat idea, and yet as a competitor, it's the most terrifying thing you can think of, because if anyone wants you in there, they can just have you in there. There's always a chance. You never know if you're truly safe or not. All of us being RuneScape players, we know that something that is like an 8% chance to happens honestly fairly more often than you might think it does. You don't necessarily feel safe, even if it's just one vote. Since I confirmed to Soup that I wasn't going to be participating this season, I did get the opportunity to test out and provide feedback on the banning for this first episode. It's a really cool banning. You need to try to get rid of as many items in your inventory as possible in a time limit, but you can't sell the items or drop them. They have to be consumed, which means you have to use your game knowledge from all over the game, try to make these items just disappear one by one. The point of me testing this banning was basically just to make the most fun yet competitive banning possible, and with so many different items, I was basically just tasked with finding creative solutions to consume the items, see if some were too easy to deal with or if some were too difficult. The inventory that ultimately made it to the challenge was a lot different because of this. Things like the Maple Log and Clockwork were way too easy. The Dragon Bone and Chinchampa felt like filler items. The Shanty Pass wouldn't work if people had the Elite Diary done, so all of these ended up getting thrown out. And a few people did point out that they can just go to the Fountain of Rune or to the Scar and feed their entire inventory to Abyssal Leeches or alch everything. I think it's cool they had that option within the rules, but I also wonder what would have happened if one of them did that. I think it would have honestly been just a pretty disappointing landslide victory by one of them, and there would be no footage to work with. I think it's a really cool big brain idea. I think it was probably just an oversight that it wasn't banned. It's such a clever banning when it's done the appropriate way, and I'm really glad it was done the appropriate way because we saw Mammal pull out some tech that I personally wouldn't have even thought of with the Temporos play. I thought that was so awesome. One of the things that stayed the same from the inventory I tested to the one that ended up making into the real banning was the jute fibers, which I believe both Mr. Mammal and MMORPG made into drift nets, which I was actually going to do the exact same thing when I tested this, and then I did this instead, which I thought was interesting. Maybe drift nets? But then how would I get rid of it? Wait, is this compostable? Because it's jute? I mean, it's a farming product, so...
Didn't think about that. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's actually... I wasn't even thinking about
compostable. It's very big.
Oh, that's good, because that can be a bit of a red herring then. Because if somebody makes the drift net, they only lose one spot as opposed to two.
Watching the banning also gave me FOMO because I really love solving the unique game knowledge bannings. They're super fun. All right, Soup, GG6, like, I'm coming back, bro. You heard it here. As for who I'm rooting for right now, I have no idea. I feel pretty confident about Bodhi making it far this season because he seems like he really wants to win. It's almost like he's not going to turn himself into the Theater of Blood anymore, and I think he wants to win very bad. So I'm curious to see how hard he goes in a fully for-the-win mindset. Happy to see the cast with a lot of new faces, and I'll be watching every week. As for what I've been up to, well, I have a lot of Grandmaster episodes to make on this channel. I'm extremely behind. I'm going to be making one more Grandmaster episode before the month is over, and hopefully upping the pace of those releases a lot. And of course, we got a massive update last week, which was sailing, which I actually really enjoy. I just started doing it on this account because I want to remax. I'll probably just AFK salvage my way to 99 on this account, maybe at least to the Gwyneth trial. I want to salvage my way up to there, and then maybe I'll just grind out 99 from there. But I personally really like that sailing has a slower 1 to 30 progression. I know a lot of people complained that it's slow, but the XP rates later in the skill are extremely high. I think a more linear level progression is completely fine and should even be encouraged rather than backloading the skill and having 80 to 99 take up all of the time. I think it's completely fine. I really love how smooth the release was for how big of an update sailing was. I'm a sailing lover. What can I say? I can't wait to see how they develop the skill over the years. I think a lot of people forget just how bad things like Zaya were on release. And look at it today. Sailing has an insanely strong foundation. This is just the beginning, and I think it'll only get better, more fleshed out, more fun. I think they're gonna fix a lot of things. They are super on top of it right now. I think my expectations were lower for how polished it would be on release, and I was pleasantly surprised. So I think this gives them an amazing canvas for future updates. Excited to see what they do with it, and I'm excited for GG5. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you very soon. Bye-bye. Wait, I guess this entire video was a lie, because I am in the first episode. Like, I am right there. So technically, I am in GG5. Should I just not upload this?